Hey, it's Tpok, and I'm in Katawa Shoujo. We left off, I think we just got a date, I think was where we were. Yeah. My head's in a spin all through Matao's class. I'm gonna have dinner with Emmy, who wants to be my girlfriend, no less. A date. And then she kissed me. That kiss, I keep going back to it, playing it over in my mind again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind drifts off, lost in the thoughts of Emmy. Nakai, hello. Seems like I've drifted a bit too far. What? You've contracted some kind of amnesia. Someone get the nurse. The class chuckles at Matao's antics. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again and all that, right? Exactly. Matao brightens considerably. Well, lovely to hear. I'd hate to have my star pupil slacking off, after all. I've been doing well, but I hardly qualify as a star pupil, I think. I'm fairly certain that this class is the sort that everyone does well in. It's just memorizing formulas. True to my word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of class. Nakai, may I have a word with you? I wonder if I'm in trouble for earlier. Sure. Am I in trouble? Matao looks genuinely confused for a moment. Beg your pardon? He tilts his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that? No. You're not in any sort of trouble. There's just a question I wanted to ask you. What's that? Nothing terrible. I was just wondering what your plans were for after graduation. What your plans for after graduation are. Are you going to university? Yeah, I guess. I can't really see a reason not to go. Given any thought to what you'll study? Not really, no. I figure I'll come up with something when I get there. Matao laughs. Taking things as they come, eh? I'd argue against it, but that's how I did things when I went to university. Well, not really. I knew I'd go into science, I just wasn't sure which one. Ended up with physics, but could have just as well have gone for astronomy or what have you. Actually, I did go for chemistry first, but there were all sorts of things. Matao trails off and frowns slightly. It takes a minute for him to recover his train of thought, and I wait patiently for him to continue. So anyway, I did a lot of physics as well, because I had an interest in that, but I wasn't sure if that was for me. So I went back to chemistry, and here we are, yes? He smiles at me enthusiastically as if waiting for me to confirm that yes, here is where we are. Somehow I get the feeling that Matao had a plan for this conversation, but I'll be damned if I can figure it out. He wants you to study chemistry. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. Matao frowns and rubs his chin a bit, looking perplexed. He then snaps his fingers as if he's remembered what the point of all of this was. Right, yes, you. Me? You. Yes, you should look into studying one of the sciences. You're fantastic at it. Unless you'd rather just go into math. Matao makes a sour face. Not a big fan of straight math. I always like the experiments more than the proofs. You're saying I should study science at university. Matao seems thrown off balance by my question. Well, sort of. You could also join the science club. Trouble is, there's not actually a science club. But there could be. You could even be a charter member. A founding father. Of course, you'd need to find other members. Well, only if you wanted to. We could just start it up with the two of us. And, I could give you things to read and we could talk about them. And I could help you get ready for university and such as well. Wait. Matao rummages around in his briefcase and tosses me a book. Read that. If it's interesting, then we can talk about it. Brief History of Time. I don't know if I actually want to read this, but Matao seems pretty excited about it. What's it about? Time, space, space-time, black holes and such. And it's not that dense, just to see if that's the sort of thing interesting for you, you understand? Hang around after class and we can either discuss it or I can show you how to make explosives in the lab. He waves a hand at my quizzical expression. Joking, sorry. Still, I've kept you here long enough for now. Think about science as a career path, Nakai. I think you'd enjoy it. Okay, I will. Thank you for the book. I leave the classroom and look up at the clock. Quite a chunk of time to kill until Emmy's out of practice. Guess I'll give the book a look. I should probably shower as well. Showering before a date's only proper, right? I head back to the dorms. I wonder where I'm supposed to meet Emmy anyway. She said after practice, but she didn't say where I should find her. I guess I can just swing by the track. That's probably best anyway. If she needs a shower, I can just wait for her in her room or something. Or in the hallway, I guess. That would be better as well. I take a quick shower, remembering to take my medication once I hop out. Now for a look at this book. Are you gonna be late? Because you were too engrossed in the book? I wake with the start. Shit, what time is it? I glance at the clock. A glance at the clock reveals that I've been asleep for nearly an hour. Thank goodness. Emmy's practice should be finishing up soon. Throw on some casual clothes and head for the track. Somehow I get the feeling we won't be doing anything fancy for dinner. Emmy doesn't strike me as a very fancy sort of person. Still, I suppose there's a lot I have yet to know about Emmy. Despite our newfound closeness, I still feel like I don't know her as well as I should. Oh well, I have lots of time to fix that. To be honest, I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. I'm so caught up in my own thoughts that I hardly register that I'm already at the track. Emmy is nowhere to be found. I don't even see any signs of the track team. This could be embarrassing. I turn to head toward the girls' dormitory when I hear a shout. Hey, Hisao! I turn around to see Emmy making a beeline for me with the gym bag slung over her shoulder. She's changed into some decidedly more casual clothing, a pair of shorts and an olive green top. Her running blades have been replaced by more realistic looking legs that probably wouldn't fool anyone. Emmy doesn't seem to care about that, a fact which makes me smile. Hey, you came. I mean, I figured you would, but still. I've suddenly found myself wrapped in a rather affectionate hug, and it proves to be impossible for me to keep what must be the world's largest grin off my face. Well, of course I came. I'd be crazy not to, right? Emmy ponders for a moment. You know, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty amazing after all. I shrug in response. I certainly think so. It's an offhand remark, which is why I'm surprised to see that it seems to have caught Emmy by surprise. She blushes and smiles warmly at me before planting a kiss onto my lips. Now it's my turn to be surprised. Emmy steps back, resting her weight on her back heel, looking pleased with herself. My brain fumbles for an appropriate response. I should compliment you more often. Emmy laughs and gives me a playful shove. Jerk. I throw an arm around Emmy's shoulders and am pleased when she immediately leans into me, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. So, where to? I'm not actually sure. Where do people go on dates around here anyway? That's a damned good question. I've got no idea. Why don't we just head down to the Aura Mart and grab something portable? Emmy's face brightens at this idea. A picnic. I think you're onto something, Hisao. Hi, pompous gate. Emmy snakes her arm around my waist and we begin to head for the front gate. I'm entirely unsure of what I'm meant to do in this situation, but at least Emmy seems to be equally clueless. Despite the relaxing feeling of being with Emmy, I still can't help feeling a little tense. What if I do something wrong? I'd hate to make an ass out of myself. The trip to the ore mart is accompanied by Emmy's chatter about how practice went. I keep quiet for the most part, merely enjoying the warmth of being around Emmy. We get a few odd looks from passers-by, but I don't mind. We wind up buying some bread and instant noodles, realizing too late that we cannot actually cook the latter in the park. Oh well, I'll make it for lunch or something. That'll work. The park is located after a brief loss of direction that I blame entirely on Emmy. She, of course, blames me. We find a spot beneath the tree and sit down. I lean back against the trunk. Emmy sits across from me. I guess we should have brought a blanket or something to sit on, huh? Emmy shrugs. I don't mind. Neither do I. Emmy tosses me a package of bread and we dig in. Curry bread. Interesting. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I grabbed in the store. Hey Hisao, you look like your bread's a little spicy. I shake my head, trying in vain to keep an image of manliness. Nah, it's hardly spicy at all. I see. That must be why your face has gotten so red. Yes, exactly. The lack of spice has gotten my blood up. Because of the disappointment. Emmy laughs and swallows the last of her bread. Well, if you can't handle it, I'll be glad to take it off your hands. Hey, just because you wolfed down yours so quickly doesn't mean I'm just gonna give you mine. Emmy mock pouts, causing me to nearly choke on my bread with laughter. Oh, come on, Hisao. Aren't you supposed to be concerned with making sure I've got enough to eat now? We're dating, you know? Though, Emmy looks troubled all of a sudden. I can't say I feel any different. What do you mean by that? What makes this a date? It's just what we would have done anyway, really. But this should feel different because before we had lunch we were friends. And now we're a level above friends. You sound like Rin. Laughter escapes, and Emmy grins. Well, she might have put the thought into my mind. We've talked about that sort of thing before. Really? About me? Not really, just stuff, really. Rin thinks that the change of a label from friend to girlfriend seems arbitrary most of the time. Like there's no difference between the two. I can think of at least one, you know. You don't tend to kiss your friends quite as much. For the second time that day, Emmy blushes slightly and giggles. I suppose you're right. Exactly. I'm always right about things like this. Emmy rolls her eyes and chuckles. Guess you're pretty smart, huh? I'm not in agreement. Yep. Even Matao thinks so. He thinks I should go into some scientific study after graduation. Emmy raises an eyebrow. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm thinking I might actually do just that. Really, the more I consider the idea, the more it appeals to me. I make a mental note to look into it a little more closely. So, what are you thinking of doing after graduation? Still planning on running? Emmy shrugs, seeming almost a bit hesitant. I don't know. If I'm good enough, I can find a team, I guess. You mean you aren't sure? I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Really? You probably should, you know. Graduation isn't that far off. Emmy fidgets a little nervously. Yeah, well, it's far enough, right? Besides, I've got other things to think about. There's a mischievous flash behind Emmy's eyes, and I suddenly found myself gloriously pinned against a tree. Like making sure this is a real date, right? I mean, if we don't kiss, then it's not a date at all, right? I suppose some strawberries and curry. Not the best combination, but I don't think I mind. Emi sits back on my legs and grins again. There, science would approve, right? I have the oddest mental image of Mattel nodding seriously and making a mark on some checklist. I can't help laughing at the idea. Well, I'll admit, this is the first time I've ever witnessed a kiss met with laughter before. Should I feel offended? No. I'm sure science approves. Emi beams at me and I find it increasingly difficult to keep my brain functioning properly. Oh, good. It's at this point that I noticed that Emi had stolen the remainder of my curry bread while I was otherwise occupied with images of teachers wielding clipboards. Hey. Emi tries to look innocent, but considering she's just crammed the last bits of my bread into her mouth, it does not appear to be working. For a cool reserve. Thief. A shrug from my companion is all I get in response. You used your feminine wiles on me. I wasn't that hungry anyway, but I still feel that a point needs to be made. Emi seems confused by the phrase feminine wiles, but the understanding dawns on her features after a moment's thought. It wasn't anything of the sort. You were laughing. Feminine wiles don't involve laughing. I guess I can't argue with this. That doesn't change your thievery. Emi laughs at my injured tone and gives me a playful shove. Fine, you can have the instant noodles. Are you kidding? That stuff's terrible. If anything, you should definitely eat it as punishment. Another laugh from the girl sitting on my legs, both of which have fallen asleep by now. I twitch one leg to try waking it up, which has the unintended effect of unbalancing Emi, who falls to the side with a startled eep. Whoops, sorry about that. Legs fell asleep on me. Emi remains on the ground, giggling. I stand up a little shakily, feeling the nerves in my legs return to normal. My eyes wander over the scenery before fixing on the figure of Emi, who has yet to get up. Her hair is splayed around her head, her arms are spread, and laughter is bubbling up through her mouth. Everything about Emi seems condensed into this one image. Her energy, her spirit, her childish giggling. The urge to lay down on the grass with her rises swiftly from the back of my mind to the forefront of my thoughts, and indeed I am convinced that I would love nothing more than to do just that. Unfortunately, the sun has set, and it is probably the time for us to get back into the dormitories. While Emi may be happy to stay out here all night, I don't think I have that ability. Besides, homework soon beckons. It wouldn't make sense to start thinking about things like university and then slack off, would it? I extend a hand to Emi and help her up. We should probably get going. Emi makes a sour face. You're right. She grabs my preferred hand, and I pull her to her feet and into a hug. This time I'm the one who kisses her, unable to resist having Emi against me. Seems a shame to leave, you know? Yeah, it does. But if we don't get back to the school soon, we'll probably get into trouble. Emi pokes me in the ribs playfully. And you need to do your homework, I'm sure. Sadly, you're absolutely right. I throw my arm around her shoulders and we make the trek back to the school, accompanied by occasional bouts of laughter as our conversation jumps from subject to subject. Everything from running to school to the peculiar way that one of the cafeteria workers smells. All too soon we find ourselves outside of the girls' dormitory building. Well, I guess I'll be going then. I guess so, huh? Emi grins at me, again with that mischievous look. Are you going to be able to survive without me? I laugh. I'm sure I'll manage. How terrible. Aren't you supposed to say something like, I'll be counting the seconds you are away? Nah, I don't think so. Emi pulls me down into a quick goodbye kiss and steps back, looking unexpectedly shy. Thanks for dinner. I really had fun. Honestly, I did. So did I. I think we shall have to do it again sometime. Emi laughs at my deadpan delivery and nods. See you bright and early tomorrow morning, right? You gotta run off that bread after all. Of course, despite the fact that you ate most of it. Yes, despite that. See you later, Sal. As Emi turns to head inside, I notice something weird. Something so weird, I'm surprised I didn't notice it earlier. She's limping slightly, favoring the left leg. Hey, Emi. Is your leg okay? Emi looks confused, or at least fakes confusion. Oops. What are you talking about? Your right leg, you're limping. There's the briefest flash of concern on Emi's face. Either she didn't want me to know, or she didn't think I'd notice, or I prefer to think she just didn't realize it. Oh, that. She shrugs casually. Must have gotten knocked a little out of alignment during the picnic. No idea what would have caused that, of course. I think back to being pinned under the tree. Ah. You should have told me. We could have stopped and fixed it, you know. Emi waves a hand airily. Nah, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it, okay, Hisao? It's fine. Why do I get the feeling that she's convincing herself as well as me? Oh, no. I am saving, but I'm also out of time. I think there's a serious problem, but I think pressing her would do the wrong thing. I think I'm gonna press. Are you absolutely sure? You don't want to go ahead and adjust it before heading up the stairs? You could get hurt if you don't, right? I said it was fine, so. Seriously, don't worry about it. I've got some experience in these matters after all. Yeah, I suppose so. Emi grins reassuringly. Honestly, Hisao, I appreciate the concern, but I am really okay. Now, I need to get going. Your attempts to keep me around are doomed to fail. Of course. Just prolonging the goodbye, I suppose. Another grin lights up Emi's face. Good night, Hisao. Good night. As she limps inside, I find myself hoping that she's okay despite her assurances that she's fine. I think I can call this a successful first date. Hell, any day that ends with Emi pinning me under a tree and trying to kiss me can't be bad, can it? I head back to my room, mentally thank the gods that Kenji doesn't ambush me in the hallway, and get started on my homework. Okay, guys. Oh, I can skip those? Oh yeah, I can. Oh well. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope I made the right choice, and I'll see you next time. Bye.